Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV's live broadcast of the Australian-New Zealand Skip Barber Championship, and we're coming to you live today from Zolder Grand Prix Circuit. I'd like to introduce my co-host today, Adrian Jarvis. How are you going, Adrian? I noticed you didn't get to Ipswich today.
Yeah, thanks, Bernie. Hey, viewers. I'm doing pretty good. Not out to Ipswich this weekend. I'm not going to watch the V8s. Hopefully, Gold Coast, that'll be my thing. I'm going to be interested in watching the Skippies, and then I'm going to back up the Skippies in me Star Mazda today, so that'll be quite interesting for me today.
Yeah, and we look forward to seeing you out there today. And for the viewers out there, it's been a big weekend of iRacing. Excuse my voice, a bit croaky still. With we've got the Road Warriors Spa 24-hour on at the moment, but that hasn't affected the Skip Barber fields, which is a good thing. We also had last night the World Formula One Championships. So, big weekend for iRacing.
Yeah, certainly is, Bernie. Good to see. I noticed the Spa event. I think it had 5 splits, I think, Bernie. So it was quite a big event there this weekend. It's still running. I do believe there's a channel on YouTube that runs the event, Bernie, if viewers want to check it out after our racing today. And I think there's also a few guys doing it on Twitch as well, I think, Bernie.
Yeah, we've got quite a few Australian teams entered in that series, which is great. So hopefully they're all doing really well out there today, and it's a big event. I think the goal of that event is to get to the end, but turning our attention now to our Skip Barbers, basically these guys have been qualifying all week. They've had 3 qualifying rounds to set the grid. We've had 24 guys qualify at the moment, and we'll go through that shortly. But to start with, let's have a look at our point score. So at the moment, David Buda is leading the way with 179 points over Paul Wood-Stotesbury on 147 points. Ben Smith is up in third with 124 points. Fourth is Troy Burgess on 97, and fifth is Kevin Willman on 95. Then in sixth we have Perkins, Matheson, Duffin in eighth. Ninth is Mick Gray, and rounding out our top 10 is James Keane on 52 points. So turning our attention to our qualifying at the moment, pole position has gone to Benjamin Smith with a 1:45.107, followed in second by Troy Burgess. He'd scored a 1:45.366. Then third will be Ewan Norilampi, fourth Troy Duffin, fifth Colin Sooty, sixth David Buda, seventh Kevin Willman, 8th Mick Gray, 9th Kevin Henderson. Anthony Mansorella rounds out our top 10. 11th is Stephen Davies. Paul Wood-Stotesbury back there in 12th with a lot of work to do. 13th is Jason Willman. 14th Ben Seidel. 15th Rod Pinder. 16th Graham Morrell. 17th is Brian Hender. 18th Ben Conroy. 19th Matt Spencer. And 20th will be Michael Thomas. 21st Andrew Stokes, 22nd on a 1:48.042 is Darren Lesu, followed by Kurt Maher in 23rd, and then rounding out our field of 24 will be Tay Tran with a 1:55.553. So Adrian, there's a big disparity in times there from the pole sitter to the person in 24th.
Yeah, it certainly is, Bernie. So that'll be quite interesting to see how the guys go today. Definitely going to get through lap traffic here, and it's a great track, Bernie. I enjoy the track. I just know that there's going to be a few points that some people can get caught out. I mean, the first chicanes that they come to is definitely a rough one, and getting in there. Not a good place to overtake, but I'm sure if someone's slow enough, someone's going to have a dive in there, and you definitely can't get 2 cars through there, so they're going to have to be careful getting into that one, Bernie.
Yeah, they certainly will. And having a look at our track at the moment, folks, it's a 4 kilometre length, 10 turns. As Adrian said, keep an eye out. The first corner's normally quite exciting, slightly negative camber there, which often catches the guys out. But keep an eye out, as Adrian said, into that first chicane there. The speed bumps on the outside are treacherous. We often see a lot of cars launching if they hit those, and they've got to be heavily on the brakes from what I understand there.
Yeah, they do, Bernie. It's quite a tricky one to get into, and then trying to get out, Bernie. So you've got to try and carry speed in there, but it's so difficult to try and get it in there, Bernie, right, and then power out. You can gain a lot of time if you get it right, and you can definitely lose out if you get it wrong. And getting it wrong, that means getting the car loose, and it's going to go sideways and into the fence, guaranteed. So, yeah, it's just a real tricky chicane, that one, Bernie.
It certainly is, and it's important that they try to carry as much momentum as possible through these chicanes, that first chicane in particular, because if they mess that up, they're going to be vulnerable up over that hill into the second chicane. Now, probably the most important corner on this circuit would be, looking at it, the last hairpin there leading onto the back straight, mainly because they're going to have to get through that and onto the gas to carry that momentum all the way up through that final chicane onto the front straight there today.
Yeah, certainly will, Bernie. The second chicane's not too bad. You can definitely get that right quite comfortably all the time. Once again, only one car can get through there. But coming into the hairpin there, overtaking moves are going to be on all the time there if they're allowed, if we've got cars really close. And then getting the power down and getting through that last chicane as well, Bernie. That is quite a tricky one. The boys don't take it right. They will get loose again. Once again, yeah, it can get really, really hairy in there, and we've seen it happen many a time in the SEK. Or I know they had it there, and quite a few different series run through there, and yeah, that's also a tricky one getting out onto the main straight.
Oh, it certainly is. We've seen in the GT3 races there, the guys get unstuck big time. If they mess that up, they're straight into the wall, and it becomes like a bit like a pinball machine. They'll bounce from the outer wall to the inner wall, and they can create a big mess. And the skip barbers might be a bit slower, but these guys, I assure you, are pushing these cars to the absolute limit to get the most out of them. And even on the gear changes, they have to rev these cars right up near the red line most of the time just to be competitive. That's how high calibre this field is, just to be competitive here today.
Yeah, exactly right, Bernie. Unfortunately, these skippies, they're not that, but the whole key to these is all about momentum, similar to the Mazdas in the Cup Series as well. It's all about momentum. You've got to keep that momentum going in these cars to keep the speed into them. So, yeah, the boys are definitely on the cards there, and we know David's probably one of the better ones, seeing he's winning this, leading the series at the moment, and controlling it there quite comfortably. So doing a great job. And Benjamin Smith, what a driver he is, Bernie. Can steer this thing in. We've seen him a couple of rounds ago start from the back of the field to win the race at Villeneuve. So he's a great driver, and I believe he was doing the 24-hour Spa also this weekend. And he's a great driver, that one.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he also started from the back of the grid on Thursday night for the Star Mazda Australian Championship, but it didn't quite go his way, that race, but he did manage to get right up from 25th on the grid as high as 12th, I think, before he came unstuck. But a special shout out to Evolution Racing Australia, which Ben Smith is a member of. They're in the 24-hour race today at the moment, as well as a number of other teams. But we're jumping on board here with Kevin Willman just to give the viewers a bit of an idea of how this track flows today.
Yeah, these will be great shots. It is a nice track. I don't know, I think I like it. I think I had a race here many moons ago in one of those roughs, and it was quite a hair-raising experience, you could say, with the rough, and you hit the curves in the rough, and yeah, they certainly unsettled it. But yeah, just for some reason in that race, I found a rhythm, and I started enjoying the track a lot more. So what a brilliant track this is, and yeah, I enjoy it immensely, Bernie.
Yeah, I like it as well. It's a fast track, but it's also mixed with a lot of stop starts and tricky sections. So I'd say it's quite a technical track as far as the drivers would be concerned out here, as we see Kevin going through the first corner into the second sweeper here. And we'll stay with him up until the chicane, just so you can see how hard these guys have to brake.
Yeah, we've got, it's got a whole big mix of corners, doesn't it, Bernie? We've got high speed corners, nice, fairly long straightaways. They're not super long, but long enough to get a decent bit of speed out of them. And like you said, these hairpins and chicanes, you've really got to get on the brakes and slow it down and then get through. So lucky you've decided to get off over there, and as he's pulled over to have a break, he must have been happy with what he was doing then.
Yeah, well, it's just a warm-up out there at the moment, folks, because they have qualified during the week to set this grid. But with 11 seconds to go, let's have a look at our warm-up results. So Ben Smith was the fastest for our practice session with a 1:45.400, so that's a nice competitive start out there, followed by Troy Burgess and Colin Sooty. David Buda was fourth, and rounding out our top five is Ewan Norilampi. So it's great to see. It looks like we've got some of our big drivers out there today.
Yeah, good to see. Dedicated to the championship, Bernie, and why wouldn't you be? It's a great event put on by the organisers. So and it's good to see this open wheel format come to where it is, Bernie, and I'm sure next year it's just going to go to strengths as we're running the Formula Ones next week, Formula One series as well next year. So or next season, you might be able to illume on at that, but I'm pretty sure it's next year. So it's going to be great to watch.
Yeah, it certainly will be. And just having a quick look at our grid, folks. Wrong one again. Okay, so Benjamin Smith will be starting with Troy Burgess second, Ewan Norilampi third, Troy Duffin fourth, Colin Sooty rounds out our top five. So we're just waiting for the field to be set. We're under starters orders now. The revs are rising and we'll be going any moment now, folks. Waiting for the green light. We have green and we are underway for the Australian-New Zealand Skip Barber Championship from Zolder Grand Prix Circuit. So it looks like Ben Smith's had a great start there, followed by Colin Sooty. Ewan Norilampi is in third at the moment, but being challenged, and David Buda's got a good start back there in, it looks like he's about fifth position, followed by Kevin Willman.
Yeah, good clean start here, Bernie. The drivers are really doing well here to start the race. Going to be quite interesting coming up to the chicane here. This is quite a high-speed corner as they're coming through now. Back here with Paul Wood-Strosbury, he's up into 11th, 10th at the moment, so he's got to move up to get his championship going as they're coming up into the chicane now.
Yeah, and we can see them nose to tail through this chicane. It looks like Kevin Henderson's getting a bit of a run on Kevin Willman back there. Having a look, the last two cars did collect wheels, but they're continuing. But at the moment, we have Ben Smith out front, followed by Troy Burgess second, Ewan Norilampi third, Colin Sooty fourth, and as we have, who was that? That was Colin Sooty. He's going to have to get a slowdown there for going through that chicane. So as you said, the chicanes claim our first victim today, Adrian.
Yeah, once again, we got short penalties. If you take too much of these corners, you're going to get a shortcut. But that second chicane is, oh, geez, that must have been close there, Bernie. They're really diving into the hairpin as we thought they would. So racing is thick and fast on the first lap.
Yeah, that was caused. We've got a slow driver back there with wheel damage, and at one point they were going 3 wide in there. He's recovered now, so he probably got another slow down there. That might have been Colin. But at the moment, Ben Smith in first, Troy Burgess second. Ben Smith's already got 0.4 of a second gap over Troy Burgess. Ewan Norilampi 1.2 seconds down in third, Colin Sudi fourth, and David Buda rounds out our top 5. As we're looking now at Graham Morrell back here in 9th position.
Yeah, sorry, Benny. Just checking on what's happened here to Tran. He's the new guy in this series, I believe. So I saw him off on the side of the road. So I'll get back with you in a minute. I'll just check on what happened here with him today.
Yeah, I can see him parked over there in the fence at the moment. But we'll come back to our leaders, folks. So it looks like Troy Burgess is closing up. He's starting to challenge here on Ben Smith. So Troy's showing a good speed at the moment. We're having a look outside of Troy Burgess's car from our gyro cam, and we'll just see how strong he is. He's pretty good under brakes there, but gets it a bit slidey out there, allowing Benjamin Smith to get a good run up here onto the main straight.
Yeah, good racing here, Benny. And just a quick update on Ty. Yeah, that wheel contact you saw in the back there, it actually broke the suspension in his car. So it looks like race over for Ty. So that's a bit of a bad luck there to the new driver. But look, hopefully he'll come back and put a bit of effort in, and we'll see how well he goes next race, Benny.
Yeah, as we try to keep these races as realistic as possible, folks, they have 15 incident points, no fast repairs. So breaking your suspension pretty much puts an end to your race unless you want to sit there in pit lane while it gets repaired. Another driver in trouble out there at the moment is Andrew Stokes in 20th. He's still circulating, but he's a long way down, so he may have been involved in an incident earlier. But at the moment, it looks like Ewan Norilampi is starting to come under a bit of pressure here from Colin Sudi. Colin's looking quite racy here today.
Okay, Benny, it looks like Kevin's struggling here at the moment. He's dropping positions big time. He looks like he's got a big problem with his car at the moment.
Is that Kevin Willman?
Kevin Henderson dropping back through the field here, Benny. He's losing positions, hands over fist, so something majorly wrong as he's really slow through the second hairpin there, letting cars go. So looks like he might be entering the pit lane very shortly, Benny.
I'd say so. We're riding on board with Kevin. He's just his steering looks okay. He's just not getting the drive out of the corners, so I'm not sure what's the go with that. He's letting another guy through, so we'll keep an eye on Kevin, folks, and we'll give you an update as soon as we get it.
Yeah, he was doing quite well, and yeah, for some reason something's happened, so such a shame for him to be back there as, straight into the pit lane, Bernie, so looks like his race might be done there.
Certainly might be. He dropped all the way back to 19th there with that whatever has occurred. We'll see if we can find a replay. It looks like Troy Burgess has lost a bit of time there to Ben Smith as well.
Yeah, Ben's he's crazy quick, isn't he, Benny? So nothing against Troy, that's for sure. We just know that Benjamin is just a quick driver, isn't he?
Oh, he certainly is. He's quite a talent, that guy, and he's also set the fastest lap at the moment with a 1:45.433. So that's getting up there in qualifying times at the moment.
Yeah, certainly is. And the thing too, Bernie, is these cars really rely on the draft just to try and to hang in there. But Ben's just getting through the corners a little bit quicker than Troy here, and it's just helping him break away, and that's you don't have the draft getting into the corners. You need it through the straightaways. So looks like Ben's got better control through the corners, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does. He's getting off the corners a lot better, but having a look further back here, folks, 11th, 12th and 10th, 11th, 12th, we have a good battle here, a nice battle pack of 3. So that's Ben Conroy, Stephen Davis and Ben Seidel, but Jason Willman and Matt Spencer are also jumping on the back of this train and having a good battle themselves here.
Yeah, well, they're not that far behind at the moment, are they, Bernie? So they still can hang in the draft and tow along, and it's something that you just hang in there. It's a bit of racecraft. I know when you're in the car, it's a bit hard to try and control how you control your racecraft, but they're doing a good job here today.
Certainly are. We just saw Ben Seidel there make a move, and Stephen Davies. Sorry, no, he's up into 11th.
Yeah, Ben Seidel there got through Stephen, and Stephen did the right thing. He just let him through and then tucked straight back in behind him there, getting into turn 1. So that was good racecraft driving there by Stephen. So good to see as we can... Oh, here we go, Bernie. Oh, he's getting a little bit crossed up there and slow. So the boys are really 5 going into the chicanes, Bernie. This is not going to end pretty if these don't sort it out.
Yeah, 3 wide into the chicane doesn't go, but that was caused by, who was that? Ben Seidel doing a dive in there, and I must say it was a pretty adventurous sort of move there, but the guys have sorted themselves out, and it's broken them up a little bit, but that was quite exciting, wasn't it?
I certainly was, Bernie. I was hanging on here at the moment, just seeing them get into that first chicane. We had Stephen and Jason Willman there get through 2 wide, which is not the ideal way to do it, but they got other guys that are off there on their own now. So we've got Ben, could be brothers there, Bernie, racing away now.
Yeah, that's right, and Jason Willman and Kevin Willman are brothers as far as I'm aware, but having a look at our top 5 at the moment, we've got Ben Smith way out in front here. The gap at the moment is 1.73 seconds, and that's lap 5. Troy Burgess is still in second with a nice big margin of 2.5 seconds back to Colin Sudi in third. Fourth at the moment, David Buda. David is 7.8 seconds down, but still hanging on in there. Ewan Norolampi, he's got car damage here. Looks like he's broken his suspension the way that car's crabbing. Yeah,
that won't be good. Must have had it. Oh, he must have hit a ripple strip or something, Bernie. That'd be interesting. It's going to be hard to tell what's happened to that if he hasn't had an off track, that's for sure. But I wonder if he's hit a ripple strip. Yeah,
we're jumping back here to the replay just to see what happened to Ewa here. He's looking good here as he's going into turn 2. Got it a bit off the grass there, but he's gone really wide there. Had to take to the sand. Just have a look. Oh, that's a strange one. He had to take to the sand there, and when he's come back on, he's got steering damage or rear suspension damage.
Yeah, it's a strange one. iRacing not working well for him today, that's for sure. Maybe they think he's gone too heavy in there, and he's gone into the pits now, Bernie. So obviously it looks like his race is done.
Yeah, that's a shame because he was looking quite strong there in the top 5, but it doesn't take much to bend these cars. It's the first time I've seen them bend it through a sand trap though, but I guess the speeds they're entering that would be quite high, and it wouldn't take much to get the car slightly airborne. As we can see, Ben Smith at the moment going a little wide, but controlling this race nicely. He's increased that gap to 2 seconds at the moment. Colin Sudi third, David Buda fourth. Anthony Mansorella now having a good battle here with Kevin Willman for 5th position.
Yeah, Anthony's one of the hard luck stories. I think we've seen him struggle in this series this year, but I think the guy can drive a car quite well. He's just seemed to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So unfortunate for him. He's he's been in that situation, but he looks like he's driving okay today. And geez, I'm getting ahead of myself here, Benny. But it should be good to see how he goes today.
Yeah, well, at the moment he's sitting up there in 5th position, so hopefully that'll continue on for him today, and he's looking for a top 5 finish, but I'm sure Kevin Willman has something to say about that at the moment. Having a look further back, though, Stephen Davies is starting to... where are we? Starting to challenge Jason Willman at the moment.
Yeah, just I think he got badly shuffled in that... incident back there, Bernie. Just lost a lot of momentum, and I think the viewers saw that he just lost so much momentum, and unfortunately he was the one that was on the receiving end to be pushed all the way back down here at the moment. But look, it's a little bit of time to go, so it's not like the race is over for him. He can probably get this spot back and push to see if he can get those positions back that he lost.
Yeah, he's got a bit of work to go there, but he's hanging on to Jason. But at the moment, Ben Smith just set a fastest lap of a 1:45.218, so that's faster than they're qualifying at the moment. As we can see now, Stephen Davies having a look on the inside. He's got a good run here.
Well, he drives it in there, Bernie. How's that? And just too quick, Bernie. Just lost that position again.
Oh, that was a good move there by Stephen Davies. He used the car that was slower to box in Jason Willman there. Great racecraft, and that brings him up now to 13th position.
Yeah, these guys they're spread out though, haven't they? At the moment, it looks like Matt Spencer's there just dropped off of the two in front of him, Ben Conroy and Graham Morrill. So. He's fallen into the clutches here to Jason Willman and Steve Davies. So it could be another battle going on here very shortly.
Yeah, that's right. The guys behind him are in, they're probably getting the benefit of that slipstream as we see a car getting very loose coming on there. That's what car? Looks like the number 21. Not sure if that's that red and black car. I'm just not sure. I can't get the number, but he got it all mixed up there.
Could be Ben Conroy. And as Willman spins coming through the last chicane there, Benny. He's lost a ton of time there, and it don't look like he's going to move on from there, Benny. It looks like he's stuck in 13th. He'll be having a lonely old race back there now.
Yeah, sorry, who was that again?
That was Jason Willman, number 6, Bernie.
So I'll try and get a replay of that, folks, and just see what happened to Jason there. He was having a great run up until that point.
Certainly was, Bernie.
So at the moment, while we're waiting for the replay to come up, we have Ben Smith in front, followed by Troy Burgess second, Colin Sudi third, fourth David Buda and Anthony Mansorella rounds out our top 5. But at the moment, we'll just have a look at... Oh, no, we won't. I just messed it all up. Sorry about that, folks. It's getting too eager there. Easy to do. I'm doing 3 things at once here, folks, so just bear with us. But at the moment, we have Ben Smith out front, Troy Burgess second, Colin Sudi third, fourth David Buda, and 5th is Kevin Willman. Still, it looks like he's passed Anthony there, but Anthony's having a look on the outside coming into turn 1, so this isn't over yet.
No, it's not. No, I've just sort of keep an eye out back here. Ben Conroy's just dropped off of Matt Spencer here, Bernie, and it looks like he's had a couple of moments. Ben Siddle is now closing up on his gearbox, and Steve Davies is on his gearbox, and Ben Siddle, sorry, a little bit of a Glitch has dived into the pits here, Bernie, so his scheduled pit stop is in now, so he's getting his stop done, and we'll see him back on the track in a moment.
Yeah, definitely will. And Anthony Mansarella's got a great run here coming into the first chicane. Too wide, they're going in. Who's going to blink first? Looks like Kevin Willman has. We don't want them going too wide through there. As you can see, Anthony jumping the curb, so he's looking quite racy out there.
Yeah, certainly is, and like I said, Benny, I think he needs a good run here. Nothing like a good run to boost your confidence, and we know he can drive the car quite well, so he's just got to get this race finished, and he's doing a good job of that, isn't he?
He certainly is. And just getting back to what you're saying, Ben Conroy, his car's looking quite loose out there. He's got front wing damage. Both wings are bent up, which isn't going to help him at all. But yeah, he's not happy at all with that setup. And with no fast repairs, he's probably going to have to carry that to the end.
Yeah, he will, Bernie. Even in the pit stop, you don't want to try and get it repaired because it will definitely hinder your progress, and you'll definitely lose a lot of spots as Steve Davies gets around him at the hairpin, which is a good overtaking move.
Certainly was, and he had a bit of push there in the front by the looks of it, but he pulled that move off, and that moves Steve Davies up into 10th position at the moment.
Yeah, Steve's doing a reasonably good job there. He's had a couple of moments. He's moving forward. He really wanted to be on the back there of Matt. I know that's where he was earlier. So, you know, he's in the top 10 at the moment. There's no mean feat, that's for sure.
No, that's right. He's showing a lot of pace out there today. But the other thing to mention here, folks, is their pit strategy. As we can see, Ben Seidel sitting in the pits. He's got damage, and that's very unfortunate. 105 seconds at the moment he's been sitting in there while he gets service on that rear wing. But having a look at how strategy will play out here with 31 minutes to go, basically the guys have to run with a limit of 60% fuel. And what that does is it mixes up the fuel strategy because they can't really run a straight 50-50 split here. So we should see that play a big part as they come around. The question's going to be for these guys, over 50 minutes, will they need to take tyres, or can they get to the end by looking after those tyres?
Well, that's right, Bernie, and look, some guys actually gamble that they don't want to take tyres because it just takes that little bit longer to do. So I believe some guys have actually played around with the idea of actually taking only 2 tyres, so which can throw the balance of the car off a little bit too. So it makes it quite interesting racing for these guys.
Yeah, well, it all comes down to how long it takes them to refuel here. I know in the Star Mazdas you can take 2 tyres and normally get a fair bit of fuel in there in the 11 seconds. It doesn't cost them, unlike the GT3. So we may see guys throwing on 2 tyres. We may see them take no tyres, and we may see some of them take all tyres, but only time will tell.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Bernie. It's quite an interesting way of doing it, and it depends on how well the guys set the car up too, you know, or how they want their car set up. If they set their car up to be fast and it uses the tyres, they may take tyres. If they set their car up to be a little bit more reserved and looks after the tyres a little bit longer, they may not take tyres. So yeah, it's just a different way of setting these cars up. And I know with the skippies, it's about air pressure to make sure you're looking after your tyres. So you know, we'll see how they're going. You know, I'm pretty certain Benjamin may not take tyres because he won't want to relinquish too much of his lead, Bernie.
Yeah, well, that's right. His lead at the moment, 4.36 seconds. He's starting to really dominate the track out here. We're having a look further back at the moment, folks. It's great to see Kurt Marr back here having a run. He's been away on work for a few weeks. But he just made a move there on Michael Thomas, and that was for 13th position. But it's looking like Michael's having a bit of trouble there with the front end of his car. Looks like he's got a bit of push going on.
Yeah, probably going a little bit too quick into the corners, but um, geez, on my screen here, I'm amazed that Kurt's doing okay. It looks like he doesn't have a front wing at all.
Yeah, he's got no front wing. He's knocked both of those off, so I don't know how that's going to affect his steering, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much, as we just saw there. Who was that? Andrew Stokes diving into the pits now. He was 15th, so he's taking his scheduled stop.
Yeah, and he's another driver that was running no wing on there, Bernie. So it was quite interesting how well they were going, but that might reflect on their time. So, 148s and that. So just probably a little bit slower without that wing. Doesn't have that confidence getting in the corners, because obviously those cars are going to push through the corners, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. I'm just having a look at Andrew Stokes in the pits here. He's taking front-end tyres. Let's see how long this takes him, because this will play into the part of the other guys. He's taking 4 tyres. So Andrew Stokes will take 4 tyres at the moment and fill up to the end. And that's going to be quite a long stop. 22 seconds that stop was.
Yeah, I think he might have done that to get his wing back on there, Bernie.
Yeah, no, that wing wasn't replaced, so he's going out with a bent wing, and that's going to put him 1 lap down. As we can see, our leader Ben Smith now coming through to complete lap 13. Now, for the folks out here not familiar with this racing, it is a 50-minute timed for sure race. So 50-minute race and get as many laps in as they can. But Ben Smith at the moment, quite a lead. He's pulled that out to 4.9 seconds at the moment, followed by Troy Burgess, who's got an equally big lead over Colin Sudi. Colin's dropped back 9.2 seconds, so the field's totally spread out here. David Buda 12 seconds down from the lead, and Anthony Mansorella back here in 5th, 23 seconds, but he's having a great battle with Kevin Willman at this stage.
Yeah, it certainly is. They're quite a ways. First, second, third, and fourth. There's quite a big gap there between those, and right back to 5th here, like you said, Bernie, Anthony Mansorello. But he's got Kevin hounding him at the moment, and then this would be about the only battle we've got on track here at the moment, Bernie.
Yeah, it certainly is. The field has spread right out through here, and I'm just trying to get I'm having trouble with our audio at the moment, folks, so I hope you can hear the cars in the background there. But yeah, as you said, this is pretty much the battle of the race between Anthony Mansorella and Kevin Willman. As we can see now, Kevin starting to get that slipstream.
Yeah, he's certainly in that slipstream, so it's just he's just trying to get around him, finding that position that he needs to get around him, working on him every lap just to try and pick that time to brake. And you've got to find where his strengths are and your weaknesses are, so that way you find out where your strengths are and his weaknesses, so you can use those to your advantage. But we'll see how he goes. He may wait until the pit stops. We just don't know at the moment.
Yeah, and we're going to stay on board with Kevin for a lap around Zolder here, folks, so crank up your sound and enjoy the ride. So folks, that was a lap around Zolder Grand Prix circuit with sixth place getter Kevin Willman. So that was great to see just how hard those guys are working out there.
Yeah, certainly is, Bernie, and good to see we've got a battle. You know, that goes to show that these two guys are pretty well much on the pace with each other at the moment, and it's good to see these battles. We like watching them. They're great fun to watch, and poor old Paul Ward Stacey's just languishing back there at the moment.
Yeah, he's 4 seconds down at the moment, and he's just having trouble. So I'm trying to adjust this volume again. Having trouble here, just keeping in touch with these two guys. But you know, both his wings are damaged, so no doubt that's affecting the performance of that car.
Yeah, certainly will be, Bernie. And we've got Anthony Manzarella and Kevin Willman. They've got Andrew Stokes here. They're closing in on, so we'll see how well they go here. Anthony's running in the 40. Andrew Stokes here is running at 48.8s, while Anthony is running 46.6s, so they're 2 seconds quicker. As I see Willman having a look here, Bernie.
Yeah, he's probably going to want to repay the move that Anthony made, and he's remembering how he can use that slow traffic to his advantage. But it doesn't look like that's going to work out because Andrew Stokes has stepped aside. But I've noticed also Anthony Manzarella here has front wing damage.
Yeah, probably hit a curb, Bernie. These curbs are very hard on these cars. They're low to the ground, and you've got to really try and stay away from them. You can't throw them over the curbs like a GT3 car or anything like that because it's really rough. Those bollards, you might as well call them bollards, I think, Bernie. They're that big that they really throw these cars around.
Yeah, they certainly do, and everything here, folks, has gone black apart from my broadcast screen, which is probably a good thing for you, but we're struggling here a bit today, Adrian.
Well, that's not good, Bernie. Technical issues in the booth again is never a good sign.
It certainly isn't. It's a bit scary here, but I'll try and bring you the action here, folks. At the moment, we can see Anthony Manzarella having a good battle with Kevin Willman here for 5th position. Having a look through our field, at the moment we have Benjamin Smith in the lead, followed by Troy Burgess in 2nd. He's now dropped 6.9 seconds down. Colin Sooty is in 3rd. 4th is David Buda at the moment. As we said, 5th, Anthony Manzarella as he dives in the pits now, and Kevin Willman continues through, so he'll jump up to 5th. 7th, with no wings at all, Paul Wood Stotesbury. 8th, Graham Morrell. 9th is Matt Spencer. Steve Davies is in 10th. Ben Conroy is coming through in 11th. Jason Willman, 12th. 13th, Michael Thomas, who's 14th, Darren Lesu. And then rounding out our top 15, Andrew Stokes, and he's the last person on the lead lap. But we're just having a look at Anthony Manzarella's stop here to see what he does, if he takes any tyres or not.
Yeah, it'd be definitely interesting, but I can't see them doing that today, Bernie. I think trying to save yourself a bit of time.
Yeah, he took no tyres at all there. 18 seconds was his stop with 18 minutes to go.
Yeah, so we're going to start seeing these pit stops now, Bernie, for sure. I think the guys like to leave it as long as possible, but if you're not going to take tyres, I don't think it doesn't really matter where you take your pit stop. It's all about your traffic, and sometimes it might help you doing an earlier stop, get clear traffic and run, but we know that these cars love the draft, so getting a little bit of traffic might actually help your lap times a bit.
Yeah, that's right, and Jason Willman's just dived into the pits as well. He did a 19.2 second stop here, and he's going to jump. We'll see where he comes out with Anthony Manzarella.
All right, so Anthony's Just trying to find out where he is here at the moment, Bernie. He's coming through the second chicane now. Trundling along there, doing a nice job.
Yeah, something's definitely happened to Jason there, because he's dropped back a long way. He's all the way back there in 14th position, and that gap's going to be huge. So I'm not sure what's happened to Jason there.
Yeah, he did have a spin earlier, but really affect him that badly.
Yeah, that's really split these guys up at the moment. I'm just trying to see. We've got Anthony Mansorella now coming onto the main straight. Jason Willman, he's still coming up the back part of the circuit there. And so, yeah, he's either entered that pits and got it all messed up, or something's gone wrong for him today.
Yeah, it's not good, is it, Bernie? So, well, we'll keep pushing forward and we'll see where he ends up, because 19.1, it's not overly slow, and we see Matt's also pitted there, Bernie, and Paul Wood's straight through. He's probably got the quickest pit stop at the moment, a 13.4, Bernie.
That's pretty quick, and we've got our race leader Ben Smith now diving into the pits. We'll see what sort of a stop he does. Troy Burgess has also responded. He's in the pits, and so has Colin Sudi. David Buda is also in the pits, so we've got our top four, and that'll allow Jason Willman to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, that stop by Paul has closed the gap to Anthony here to 1 second basically, Bernie. So that 5 seconds in the pit stall has definitely helped him out. He's gone a bit wide there, but he's pushing. He wants to try and chase down Anthony. It looks like Anthony went wide there too. So these guys don't want to get close together, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, having a look in the pits, it's all action here at the moment. Colin Sudi, 15.7 second stop. Troy Burgess, 12.9 second stop, but Ben Smith has jumped back out, of course, in the lead. Looking further back, Troy Burgess still will be in second once everyone does their pit stops. Colin Sudi, 15.7 seconds. David Buda's now right on his tail with the 13.7 second stop.
Yeah, another quick time there, Bernie. So the 13.7 is where you want to be. So these guys have worked it out, and it's gained them like at least 5 seconds for some of them and 2 seconds for the others. So it's a good stop there. I'm a little bit worried about Troy. He's only stopped for 13 seconds. So has he got enough fuel?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. With 14 minutes to go, time will tell. But it doesn't look like any of the front guys are taking on tyres. So obviously this track must be pretty good for these road-going tyres, or semi-road-going tyres these guys are driving on. They're not slicks, folks. They're groove tyres. So they'll probably handle quite a lot differently than what you'll see with the Star Mazdas in a short while.
Yeah, certainly will, Bernie, and they move around a lot more, that's for sure. These tyres, they're not that wide, and yeah, they're a groove tyre and they move around on you, so it's very hard to keep these cars in a straight line trying to get around a corner quite calmly. These things can get loose on you.
Yeah, they certainly can, and Kevin Willman now dives into the pits. He was our race leader up until a pit stop, mainly because the other guys stopped, but that allows Ben Smith now to take the lead back with Troy Burgess in second. That gap now 8.2 seconds. 18 seconds back to third place getter David Buda. So David's really won out on these pit strategies. I think Colin Sudi is in fifth position now. They're jumping all around the place. Fourth position, and Kevin Willman coming out of the pits. Where's he going to come out? He should hold on to fifth position, but it'll be close with Anthony Mansorella here.
You got a little tactic there, Bernie. 12.1. That's probably the quickest we've had here. So hopefully he's got enough fuel. That obviously they work it out, and he's just jumped Anthony there. So good tactics there to get him in front of Anthony. So past him in the pit lane, Bernie.
Yeah, that's right. I got a bit mixed up earlier. Sorry, folks. I was thinking Jason was Kevin there, but it's all sorted out now. I've put my brain back in. But yeah, you're right. He's got a good gap at the moment. Let's have a look at what that gap is. It's not going to tell us yet until they go over, but that's a sizable chunk of track there.
Yeah, my screen here, Bernie, it looks like around about 5.5 seconds. So, it's a good jump there, and Anthony's actually starting to pull away from Paul there. So, Paul did gain a bit through his pit stop, but just couldn't latch on to Anthony. Anthony's probably a little bit quicker than Paul today.
Yeah, and they're both suffering wing damage, but I think Paul's suffering from a bit more wing damage by the looks of that car than Anthony is at this stage. But at the moment, this race is totally being dominated by Ben Smith. He's doing a fantastic job out here in first position. And I must say, hopefully he won't go to sleep with 7.9 second gap there.
Well, let's hope not, Bernie. One of the hardest things to do when you're leading the race is keep leading the race, isn't it? It's easy enough to lose the car and throw it all away. So to be out in front and keep your eyes on the prize, it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it certainly is. And some of our viewers ask sometimes about why don't the drivers slow down? And the thing is, once you get into a groove here, driving 9/10, if they slow down, often it can make them come unstuck because it upsets their rhythm. So these drivers find a rhythm and they pretty much stick to it throughout the race.
Yeah, that's right, Bernie. It's when you're in a battle, you've got something to work at. You're always thinking, you don't want to run into the back of them, or you're trying to protect your line and stuff like that. So you're always thinking, but out the front, you've got to try and keep picking your lines. You've got to stay on top of yourself. And, if you come too relaxed about where you are, that's when you end up having an incident. So you don't want to be doing that. And you don't want to push too hard because that's when you can make a big mistake as well.
That's exactly right. And the other thing, being the lead driver, you're the first one that comes on the lapped cars. And if they're not keeping an eye on their F3 there, that can cause mayhem. So often the lead driver lapping cars will wake them up, which means the second and third place getters have an easier time of it. Yeah,
because you're aware that the lead cars are coming through and you're going, oh, that's the leader there. But like you said, the F3 button, which is just a button there that you press, and it just tells you your relative. So basically you see where you are, you're highlighted yellow, and then you can see other cars coming. Now, if you're yellow and the leader's coming along, the leader's actually in red, and a lap down car is in blue, so you know what vehicle you're racing with, Bernie.
Yeah, that's right, and they also have blue flags here, which in this form of racing pretty much says let the leader through when it's safe. Oh, yeah, we just saw there Ben Smith ran up the back of a lapped car there. Hopefully he hasn't had any wing damage from that.
Yeah, Benny, it's just so much quicker, isn't he? He's just so much quicker. It just needed a little bit more patience. I'm not saying that the lap car there was doing anything wrong, but or Ben, but yeah, just a little bit more patience. He's got 8-second lead there, Bernie. You don't need to be pushing that hard with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's right, and going through there is pretty much single file, no real place to pass. I think he was trying to get a slingshot, but he was too eager. But with that move, he's bent both front wings, so it's going to be interesting now to see if that affects his time. He has 8.3 second gap with 8.3 minutes left for this race to run.
Now, obviously with that situation there, Benny did lose a little bit of time on that lap, but we'll see how he goes this time by, because he did have a clear run from the start-finish line. So we'll see how his lap ends up this time around.
Yeah, definitely, and that was perfect timing by Ben. I don't wish him any hard luck, but it just goes to illustrate how quickly this race could change just by trying to get through the back markers here.
Yeah, I mean, there's always urgency to get around them. Obviously, Bernie, I mean, you always don't want to be held up by, your lap traffic, because they will draw you into your competitors. But you've also got to be a little bit aware of where your times are. With an 8-second gap, with these cars, there's quite a substantial gap.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, and he's got a huge lead there anyway, so he just needs to exercise a bit more caution. But I'll hand you over to Adrian for a moment, folks, and I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, thanks, Benny, and we're just sitting here with Benjamin at the moment. He's trundling along quite well, so we'll just quickly change view here, just so that I can keep up with what's going on. But these guys are running really well today, and it's just great to see that the time that they put in, as we see Benjamin is driving really, really well, which is good stuff. And like we said, you're coming up to a lap car, you've really got to control yourself a bit. It's really difficult to judge yourself in where you're going. But Ben's a great driver, and I know he'll be aware of that next time when he comes up to a lap car. So guys, we've 6 minutes to go, so we've still got a little bit of time here. The guys are doing 1:45, so about just under 2 minutes a lap. So the guys are doing well here at the moment, so we've probably got about 3 laps to go, probably 4 all up. So it's going to be interesting to see where we've got battles, which there isn't really today. They're a little bit spread out, which is part of the track, I suppose, with the highs, corners, stop start. So as I can see here at the moment, it looks like Benjamin's closing in on Kevin Willman here. Sorry guys, I actually get that wrong. He's not closing on Kevin. It's Jason, his brother. So we'll see how he goes here with Jason at the moment. Jason's just trundling along here in 11th place at the moment. Last car on the lead lap. Sorry about that, folks. A little bit of excitement in my household at the moment. So we see here, yep, he's let him through. So good driving there by Jason at the moment. So Jason's just gone that lap down, which isn't too bad at the moment, folks. We've got 11 on the lead lap. I'm just going to quickly see Stephen Davies is the last guy on the lead lap, and he's got a bit of a gap there now to Ben, so he might be safe in not going the lap down. So the top 10 are going to finish on the lead lap.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Family commitments there, but 4 minutes to go. Ben Smith, that gap hasn't dropped down much at all, has it? 7.6 seconds back to Troy Burgess. David Booty here in quite a long way down in 3rd, Colin Sudi 4th, and Kevin Willman is looking good for 5th at the moment.
Yeah, he certainly is. I got Kevin mixed up with his brother just a moment ago, but it was Jason that Benjamin was lapping, so had to correct myself there quickly. I didn't have backup then just a minute ago, but we're on track again. But yeah, it's good to see, isn't it, Bernie? Ben's really actually driving really well today.
Oh, it certainly is. He's just managing this race, and it's an easy mistake to make. I made that same mistake about 3 laps ago or 2 laps ago with mixing up Jason and Kevin. Their paint schemes are very similar, and I think it's running with the same surname sort of throws us a bit there.
Yeah, it certainly does, and I commend you on running the skippies on a Monday night, Bernie. It's a bit hard there to try and fill in airtime all by yourself, so you do a fantastic job there as well. So, guys, if you want to go and watch those, just click on RRTV, and there's plenty of viewing there to be watched. I know that there's so much there you hardly can get through them, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, the Monday Night Lights, as we call it now, it's going from strength to strength. I think they have 3 splits there on the Monday night, so if you like open wheeler racing, definitely tune in tomorrow night. But also, with 2 minutes to go, folks, after this race we'll do interviews. Adrian's going to jump out and jump in the Star Mazda, and then we're going to come back live to you from 2:30 today to cover the Open Star Mazda Australian Championship at Zolder, so it's going to be interesting to see how they go compared to the Skip Barbers today.
Yeah, certainly will, Bernie. I think the quick boys are down into the 125s, I think, so I'm nowhere near that. I think I'm in position 15 today, Bernie, so starting near the back of the field, but yeah, I'm happy enough from that, Bernie. I'll just plod along and get the feel for it. Lovely track, and still not quite up to speed in the Star Mazda, but it'll take me a bit of time to get up to that. But hopefully, starting from next week, I might have a little bit better computer. Oh, Benjamin's sideways through turn 1 there.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to throw it away. He's probably going to get the white flag this time by, with 1 minute 22 to go. It's going to be close, and it'll be interesting to see if he tries to manage this and slows down, or whether he's going to push on regardless. But by the look of that slide, he's pushing on regardless.
He definitely is pushing on. He doesn't want to lose that gap, that's for sure. Which we've seen before. He's definitely aggressive. Oh, as he's going over. See how that car reacts over those bumps, Bernie. That's just how violent they are, and it's really bad in these little cars. You know, they're low slung. There's not much ground clearance, and you don't want to be hitting them.
No, you don't. In an open wheeler, they're not really designed for hitting those huge bumps, and those things can launch you straight into the fence. And when I mean launch, if you get it wrong, you can get a lot of airtime. But at the moment, Ben Smith coming down to the hairpin for the last time, possibly. It's going to be close, 22 seconds to go. He might actually squeeze in another lap here.
Yeah, we just covered that earlier, Bernie. We may have 3 to 4 laps to go to the viewers, just quickly working out, but 9 seconds. This could be the last turn. We don't know. It's going to come down to the wire here, Bernie. 1 second. Can he? No. Last lap. Oh, they're going to throw the last lap.
Okay, so we're on the last lap now, folks. It's so at the moment, Ben Smith on his final lap, leading by 8.2 seconds here for Evolution Racing Australia, sponsored by Maverick Welding. Troy Burgess here. Great run by Troy today in second position. And David Buda, another good run, but 21 seconds down as he comes across the line for the second last time now in third. Colin Sudi is sitting back there in fourth, and rounding out the top 5 is Kevin Willman now as he comes across the line for the second last time.
I think that's a good recovery drive there from David in third at the moment. I believe he started down in 7th, wasn't it, Bernie? So, a good drive there from David. 6th, actually. So, a good drive there and good points gain there.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good, consistent drive there for him in third position. Last seat on the podium. Fantastic there for that team. His teammate Richard Craig today unfortunately couldn't make the grid due to family commitments, but David's definitely doing a great job for that team today.
Yeah, it certainly is, and a shame for Richard not to be here. I know he wanted to try and get some more team points, but he's really had a shocker this season, hasn't he, Bernie? But talking about seasons, Benjamin's been doing a really good job, and he's coming around to take the checker flag.
Yeah, so Benjamin Smith for Evolution Racing Australia will take out the Australian New Zealand Skip Barber Championship round here from Circuit Zolder Grand Prix. So congratulations to Ben Smith in first position. Troy Burgess comes through to take second here, some 8 seconds down, but still a fantastic drive. And we can see now David Buda, he's coming along to take out third. 22 seconds down, but consistent drive there with Colin Sudi coming home in fourth. Kevin Willman, great drive by Kevin tonight, and he was having a great battle there with Anthony Mansorella for the first half of the race, but pit strategy really played out there. 12.1 second stop compared to Anthony Mansorella's 18 second stop. He holds on to fifth, followed by Anthony Mansorella in the sixth. Now looking at it, that was really sheer. He really secured that fifth position, Adrian, all through that pit stop strategy.
Yeah, he certainly did. Brilliant strategy there to jump Anthony there. I definitely think he had the pace on Anthony, but he just couldn't find a way around him. So to do it in the pit stop was such a brilliant way of doing it.
It certainly was. And before we let you jump out of here, Adrian, what about drive of the day? Do you have any votes there you want to put forward?
Well, I'm definitely going to put my vote for Kevin, just to get that pit stop strategy to jump Anthony. I'm going to put my hand up for Anthony as well. I think he deserved a good finish, and he's got one today. And David Buda, he's scored a few more points as well today. So I've got 3 there, but I think Kevin's definitely got the vote more for me today, just because of the strategy to jump Anthony.
Yeah, I'm definitely giving it to Kevin there. The 12.1 second stop was the third fastest for the day, and that's what really gave him that fifth position. Again, Anthony Mansorella, good drive. It's great to see him in the top 10 and having a good consistent run. So, Adrian, I'm going to let you jump out at this point, and you better go and strap yourself into that Star Mazda and get ready for your race.
Yeah, thanks, Benny. Once again, a brilliant race by the boys. I think it wasn't as tight as we'd wished it to be, but we're going to get those, aren't we, Bernie? And but at the end of the day, great racing by the boys, and definitely something that I keep enjoying watching and proud to be a part of, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll take you through our full field finishing now, folks. So Benjamin Smith for Evolution Racing Australia takes out today's race, followed by Troy Burgess in second. David Buda finishes third. Colin Sudi is in fourth position. Fifth was Kevin Willman with that great pit stop there. Sixth, Anthony Mansorella. Seventh goes to Paul Wood-Stotesbury, followed by Graham Morrell in eighth. Matt Spencer comes home in ninth, and Stephen Davies is home in 10th position, and the last of our guys on the lead lap. Jason Willman, 1 lap down, comes home in 11th. Matt Thomas is in 12th position. I've just got to make sure that's Michael Thomas, sorry, in 12th. 13th, Darren Lessu, followed by Andrew Stokes in 14th, Ben Seidel 15th. Ewan Norilampi having quite a bad race there, breaking his suspension 3 laps down in 16th. Ben Conroy 9 laps down 17th. Kevin Henderson also in trouble with his car today in 18th. Kurt Marr 14 laps down. Not sure what happened to Kurt, but he had obviously something go wrong there. Troy Duffin 22 laps down and probably not classed as a finisher there. And then Tay-Tran we saw coming unstuck very early in that race. But folks, we will bring up our our race winner, Benjamin Smith. Hi Ben, welcome to RRTV's commentary box, and congratulations on today's win. Fantastic drive.
G'day Bernie, how's it going? Yeah, no, it was a good race. It was pretty interesting towards the end there. The tyres went off a bit.
Yeah, I was wondering how the tyres were going. I noticed most of the guys, the top 10, I think, didn't throw tyres on there, but we noticed you had a bit of an incident there, lapping a car which bent your front wings. Did that affect the handling of that car much?
I was wondering if there was going to be front wing damage from that, because obviously you can't see it from the cockpit. So just going off the timing on the relative screen, I couldn't really work out if there was any damage. But I think the car in front just lifted a little bit, and I wasn't expecting it, so I had to duck out of that, and I think I just made contact with the back.
Yeah, it looked like you were setting yourself up for a bit of a slingshot there over the hill, and you just tapped to the back there. But fortunately, you bent both wings equally, so that probably equalised out the damage. But going into today's race, what was your race strategy?
As always in this series, you just want to go as long as you can, because obviously as the fuel depletes, the car gets a little bit quicker, as you can see from the lap times. So you don't want to pit too early and then have to come out and do more laps with a heavier fuel load. So I managed to get it out to, I'm not sure what lap it was, probably about lap 16, 17, and then come into the pits, top her up and come towards the end.
Yeah, and it was quite interesting when you jumped in the pits. All the guys behind you reacted pretty much, so it made for exciting driving there. But really, getting your gap out there to 8.9 seconds, how was the race as far as you're concerned? Was it hard to keep awake out there?
Well, I'm in the middle of doing the Spa 24 hours, so I'm a little bit tired. I've got to go back and do another stint, but no, it was pretty much after the first kind of 3 or 4 laps. You just got to, after you pulled away, just focus on hitting those markers. And I had the car dialed in really well. The tyre pressures worked really well, and it stayed good in the first stint. So I was really happy with the car.
Fantastic. And tell us a bit about your Spa 24 hour. Obviously, ERA is still going in there. How's the car faring for that race at the moment?
We did really well in quali. I managed to get the car into the top 6. We were meant to start in 4th for the race, but for some reason the qualifying time didn't register, so we ended up starting second last in the HPDs, unfortunately. So back in the pack where there was a bit of confusion lapping some of the GT cars, and we got a bit of damage kind of going into the second hour, and that slowed us down. We had to stay in the pits for about 15 minutes, but I think we're tracking all right now. Fair way off the lead, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, it sort of happens on those long races, but it's just an achievement if you can get that car to the end anyway. 24 hours is a heck of a long race.
That's exactly right, so we just want to get it to the finish now. Another 9 hours to go, so anything can happen. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, well, best of luck with that. But before we let you go, Ben, do you want to give a shout out to your sponsors tonight?
Yeah, thanks to Maverick Welding and ERA for having me on board. It's been great to join this team and give it my best for them.
Yeah, it's great having you here, and thanks for jumping into our series today and competing, especially considering you probably had hardly any sleep and you've got the 24 hour to go to now. So we wish you the best of luck for that, and thank you so much for popping in.
No worries, thanks for the broadcast, Bernie, and I might be in the Monday Night Lights Monday, maybe.
Oh, that'd be great to have you there and see how you pull up after today's race. But the Monday Night Lights is that's another great series, so it'd be great to have you in that as well.
Cheers, Bernie.
So, folks, we'll bring up into our commentary box now. We'd like to welcome second place getter, Troy Burgess. Welcome to RRTV, Troy. Great drive there. It just looks like Ben got a bit of a gap on you.
Yeah, I thought it was probably a foregone conclusion that Ben was going to win the race when he put it on pole. So, look, the strategy really was just to stick with him as long as I could. And if he made a mistake or got his pit strategy wrong, then there might have been an opportunity.
Yeah, well, your pit strategy did work in your favour. You were 3 seconds faster than Ben, so that did go to your favour. It just looked like Ben had a bit more pace out there today.
Ben had the pace all week. He turned up at the track, did a few laps and put it on pole. So it's hard to beat that. But I'm happy. Look, I'm happy with second. There was a few guys behind me that were pretty quick. That was pretty close, really, from second through to about fourth. The lap times were pretty close. So to end up getting second by about 14 seconds and still having Ben in my side on the straight, pretty happy overall.
No, it was a really good drive there, and it was great to see we had 21 drivers there today, which was a nice field considering we've got the Spa 24-hour running at the moment, and we know Ben Smith's about to go and jump back into his HPD to do his stint of that race. So it's been a pretty good race. Have you been doing any of the Spa this weekend?
Nah, I've just started to do a few laps in the Star Mazda on a Thursday night when I can, and I'm enjoying that. So I'll probably stick with the open wheelers for a bit longer.
Fantastic to see, and the open wheelers, they're coming along leaps and bounds, and in about another 25 minutes we'll be covering the Star Mazdas around this track, and I'm looking forward to that. But Ben was saying he didn't take any tyres in that race, and he found his tyres started to go off in that second stint. How did your tyres hold up?
Yeah, well, I did a long practice run last night, a full distance, and I found the tyres were definitely going off in that second stint. Not enough to justify the time associated with taking tyres at the pit stop. But yeah, I found that they were probably getting, 0.3, 0.4 of a second slower, getting towards the end of that stint.
Yeah, and they're not. Correct me if I'm wrong, they're not road tyres, are they? But they're groove tyres, is that correct?
They're road tyres. They're groove tyres, road tyres.
Okay, there you go. So they are road tyres. I wasn't sure if they were, the semi-grooved racing tyres. But yeah, so road tyres, it's that could explain why these cars can be a bit of a handful around these tracks. But anyway, Troy, fantastic drive, finishing second today. Before we let you go, do you want to give a shout out to any of your sponsors?
Just a quick shout out to yourself and Adrian for the RRTV commentary and coverage, and also to Richard, who wasn't here today but organises the event, and just my family and wife who let me do this crazy sport.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Troy, for popping in. We look forward to seeing you again in the open wheelers throughout the week. And once again, congratulations on your second position.
Thanks, Bernie. Yep.
And finally, we'd like to welcome to the RRTV commentary box Matt Spencer. Congratulations, Matt, on your 10th place finish, and you were the last driver on the lead lap today.
Cheers, Bernie. Yeah, thanks for that. Given my qualifying time, I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, so it looked like it was all action-packed back there in the field. Did you enjoy today's race?
Yeah, especially at the start, it was fun. Ben Sodell and I have just started up a team, so mainly focusing on next season. But yeah, it was fun while we were having laps close together, and just sort of having that extra dynamic to think about. So yeah, really enjoyed the race, and it was a shame that he spun and was out partway through.
Yeah, we were wondering what happened to Ben there, but it looked like we were covering as much of the action up and down the field there as we could, and it looked like you were having quite a good race there.
Yeah, well, I was just chatting to Troy before, and it was really just down to consistency, I think. I hadn't been racing as much lately, and just tried to practice and hosted a few sessions before this race to just really try and get used to the track, and I think that saw me through, If you look further down the entry list, most people were out either disqualified or crashed and were a lap down, so it was really just churning out the 147s got me through it in the end.
Yeah, that's right. There was a lot of carnage out there in the field. We're just having a look at, from your point of view, from the start here. But before we let you go, Matt, did you want to give a shout out to your sponsors and your new team?
We'll be happy to field applications from sponsors, but yeah, just a shout out to Ben and to Ken Salt as well for jumping in, and yeah, I think it's the first team we've sort of all been a part of. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and thanks again for putting on this broadcast and all the hard work that goes into it. Cheers.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for popping in, Matt, and no doubt we'll see you and Ben throughout the week in either the Star Mazdas or the Skip Barbers.
Yeah, I hope to see you back on Monday night for the Skippy for sure.
Fantastic. Well, once again, congratulations on your 10th finish, and thanks for popping in.
No worries, thank you.
So folks, that was Matt Spencer there, finishing in 10th. So this is pretty much going to wrap up part A of our broadcast here from Zolder. We're going to take a quick break so I can try and reset all my overlays. I'm having a bit of trouble here with the computer today. But tune back in at 2:30 this afternoon when I'll be bringing you the live action of the Open Star Mazda Australian Championship. And for all you GT3 guys out there, tune in tonight from 7:15pm when we're bringing you a 3-hour 15 Enduro of the SEK Queensland GT Series, and that will be live to you from Daytona International Raceway. And for something different, they're racing in the daylight there, so it should be quite good. So on behalf of Adrian Jarvis, I'm Bernie Weemers, and thanks for watching RRTV.